Hey guys, coming at you with another reaction video to a Nostalgia Critic video. Yep, we're almost near the end of September, and yeah, I thought it was fitting since, on the first day of September, I reacted to something Nostalgia Critic, and it's fitting that, before September comes to an end, the last reaction videos, there's going to be another one after this, which, it's going to be another Nostalgia Critic video that I'm reacting to. Because that's the thing, because the first two reaction videos for this month were two Nostalgia Critic videos. So yeah, fitting enough for the last two reaction videos for this month being, two Nostalgia Critic videos to react to. So you get the point. So yeah. You read the title of the second to last reaction video, which being a Nostalgia Critic video, and that being Nostalgia Critic talking about the Pee Wee Herman films. Yeah, going through all three Pee Wee Herman films, the trilogy of the Pee Wee Herman films. Yeah, and especially since, this Nostalgia Critic video being in dedication to Paul Reubens. And for me, I don't think I've, really talked about how I felt about the passing of Paul Reubens. As some of you probably know, I posted a couple of videos in dedication to Paul Reubens. I did a voice impression of his character, Pee Wee Herman. I did a review on one of the movies that he was in, which being Mystery Men, and not long after I reviewed Mystery Men, I reacted to Nostalgia Critic's review of Mystery Men. Because I thought, why not? I might as well go ahead and react to this, so yeah. And yeah, it's nice to see, because, Doug Walker, he did a Nostalgia Critic video in dedication to Paul Reubens, because yeah, no doubt about it, Pee Wee Herman was a big part of Doug's childhood, and, no doubt that he was a fan of Paul Reubens, and must have been devastating for Doug, one of his childhood icons just gone, And I remember, seeing a post from Doug, probably this was on his Facebook page, where he mentioned that he was late doing this, doing a video in dedication to Paul Reubens. Hey, Doug's not alone, because the same kind of goes for me. I was late as well doing something in memory / in dedication of Paul Reubens, with my review of Mystery Men, because I didn't know, and surely Doug didn't know, that when Paul Reubens passed, we didn't immediately think that we would be, doing these videos in dedication. You don't know at first, but, not long after, maybe a little bit later, you're like, okay, yeah, I gotta do this and stuff, you know what I'm talking about, so yeah. And I'm sure as though that for Doug, because of, the Nostalgia Critic videos that he does, and which movies he reviews, or if he does, say, a special Nostalgia Critic video, the Creep Show, the Freak Show, Carnival, you know what I'm talking about, and just, what he did for his review of Mystery Men, and also The Brave Little Toaster, etc. I'm sure as though, because, he must have known that he had to, do a video in dedication to Paul Reubens as soon as possible, and especially before Nostalgiaween. And thankfully, he did so. He managed to get this out early on, and yeah. And yeah, it's nice to see that, he was able to get this out, and, if he had to push back another, film he was going to review in its place, you know what I'm talking about, so yeah. But yeah, so about the three Pee Wee Herman films, well, I have seen them, all three. The first Pee Wee film, I should say, Pee-wee's Big Adventure. What a classic, and not to mention, this was Tim Burton's first ever feature film that he directed. And thanks to Pee-wee's Big Adventure, and especially to Paul Reubens, Pee-wee's Big Adventure is what Tim Burton got got his directing career started. This is where his directing career began, and from there on, he would go on to direct a lot of great films that we all know and love. Yeah. And again, it's thanks to Pee-wee's Big Adventure and most notably Paul Reubens. Without Paul Reubens, like, who knows where Tim Burton would have done next, you know? You know what I'm talking about. And by the way, because I've seen that clip that was taken where Paul Reubens, he was at a Comic-Con and he was talking about the official story on the making of Pee-wee's Big Adventure and why he chose Tim Burton to direct the movie of Paul Reubens' character. Because, you know, after Paul saw Frankenweenie and how there were those that were friends of Paul and they were well aware of Tim Burton and they were just in awe, like, you know, oh, Tim Burton is perfect, you know, you're gonna love him, stuff like that. Most notably, one of them, you know, telling Paul that Tim Burton was a perfect choice was Paul's friend, Shelley Duvall, because, yeah, Paul had been good friends with Shelley Duvall, so, yeah. Yeah, and okay, and also, Big Top Pee-wee, yeah, I think I'm saying the title right. Big Top Pee-wee. I thought it was pretty good. Not bad. And the fact that, you know, the other two Pee-wee Herman films, you know, they're not sequels to Pee-wee's Big Adventure. Just completely different stories and the setting where Pee-wee is. Because in Big Top Pee-wee, he's living on a farm. And the townspeople, they just despise Pee-wee. Like, what did Pee-wee ever did to them? They just don't like Pee-wee's attitude. He just doesn't fit in with the crowd. But he fits in well with the circus group, and you know what? The circus group are being treated the same way as Pee-wee is by the townspeople. Pee-wee's Big Holiday, I have seen it before. I have. As I said, I've seen all three. I do recall seeing Pee-wee's Big Holiday, I'm pretty sure I'm getting that title right, and which being on Netflix, but it's been a long time since I've seen Pee-wee's Big Holiday. But, you know, it's good, and I don't recall hearing that it turned out disastrous. I'm sure it got a few mixed reviews, so, you know. I do recall there was a moment in Pee-wee's Big Holiday where Pee-wee screamed like a girl a couple of times, like most notably, he was scared at the sight of a cobra. And that's the thing. Paul Reubens, in reality, was terrified of snakes. And the fact in Pee-wee's Big Adventure, just one more thing to mention. In Pee-wee's Big Adventure, there was one moment where Pee-wee had to save animals from, like, a pet shop because it was on fire and so on. And there's one moment where Pee-wee is holding a load of snakes. And, you know, Paul Reubens, he trusted Burton, you know, with what Burton wanted and such, and Paul did it. He actually carried all those snakes. He did it like a boss. And again, he trusted Burton, and that's saying something. Yeah. All right, so with all that being said, and with what I had to say out of the way, we shall begin this reaction to Nostalgia Critic's review on all three Pee-wee Herman films. All right. Jeez Louise, and I'm sorry, because, hey, you know, not only do I react to these videos, hey, sometimes in reaction videos, and you know what? There are plenty of other reaction videos that are like this. They not only react to content, but they talk a lot. Reaction/discussion videos. You know what I'm saying? And again, I know a lot of good chunk of YouTubers who do reaction videos, they talk a lot. So, you know, what is more that I could say? You know what I'm talking about. Anyways, so, all right, so, yeah. Okay, so I've got the video all set up and ready to go. I do have a snack with me. All right, enough said, enough said. We shall begin. And check the volume, it might be good. All right, 3, 2, 1, play.
This episode brought to you by DoorDash, the app that brings you food you're craving right now, right to your door. Also brought to you by Chomp, the award-winning app and debit card that can save you money today. Ladies and gentlemen,
right. Now I remember. I recall Freak Show Cinema, right? I do recall Freak Show Cinema being in this, and...
On July 30th, 2023, we lost Paul Rubens to cancer, and I lost one of my biggest childhood icons growing up.
Like I said.
I was a huge Pee-wee Herman fan as a kid. There's been plenty of adults who act like children for comedy, but Pee-wee created a whole world that supported it, and often in different ways. Whether it was in a playhouse, on the road, or in a circus, Pee-wee always found an environment for his oddness to shine. Much like the old Adam West Batman series, you can watch his adventures in two totally different ways as a kid and then as an adult, and both were equally entertaining. As a kid, you loved the energy, silly voices, and weird visuals. As an adult, you loved the imagination, surreal humor, and of course, a ton of innuendos that you missed when you were younger.
Now, Pee-wee, there's two things missing from this drawing. Sometimes.
I know. Earrings.
He created an identity and even worlds that were all his own.
Yep.
So, I think it only makes sense to look at the movies that helped create those worlds. In honor of Pee-wee, we're going to take a look at his 3 big movies, because they always had big in the title. Let's take a look at 1985 to see Tim Burton and Pee-wee's first movie. That's Pee-wee, not Paul Rubens, as he did a few very random movies before. Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Yep, before Pee-wee and doing the movies.
Oh, jeez. High quality shave.
An ad. Yeah, that's another thing, because Paul Rubens had already done some acting before going on to, you know, find more great success with Pee-wee. Like, yeah, as one clip that Doug showed, he made a cameo in Blues Brothers. I think he was a waiter. Yeah. So...
For such a great price.
And by the way, because, yeah, Paul Rubens, I'd like to point this out quickly, not only has Paul Rubens done a lot of funny stuff, but, he's done some serious roles, you know, no doubt about it. Any funny actor like Paul Rubens, or even like, say, Jim Carrey, the late Robin Williams, they're sometimes always good at playing serious roles. So, yeah.
Because...
Alright. Back to it.
Keep in mind, this is before Pee-wee's Playhouse hit the air, so he wasn't quite an established icon. However, he was popping up in more and more places, making appearances on several shows.
Oh, yeah.
Because of this, there was a sense of experimentation. It had not a huge budget, but just big enough that you could explore an idea, but also work within limitations in a creative way. The film centers around Pee-wee living in basically a funhouse, playing with toys, buying props, and fawning over his prized possession, his bike.
Yep.
Good morning. I'm here.
When his bratty neighbor Francis, who seems to be mentally about the same age as him, about 7 or 8,
I know you are the one of mine. I know you are the one of mine, didn't he?
proclaims he wants the bike for himself, Pee-wee refuses, resulting in it getting stolen. He goes on a road trip to try and get it back, and naturally stumbles across all sorts of strange characters along the way.
Oh, yeah.
The film is a perfect combination of both Pee-wee and Tim Burton. Maybe because both were still in the process of discovering their styles, so neither one overshadowed the other. It certainly has a lot of surreal imagery that, being a PG-80s movie, is naturally scary as hell.
Yeah!
But it also has that whimsical outlet feel to humor.
Oh, Large Marge.
Mom, do you know what stage Kevin Morgan is working on?
Yeah, it's stage 6.
If Pee-wee was just a big kid in the real world, I feel like his antics would get kind of boring. But much like the rock from the sun, the charm comes from the rest of the world being odd too. There's a deleted scene where the owner of the prop store does his hair in a mohawk, which they had to cut out. But because the world is so odd and random anyway,
did not know about that.
And nobody questions it. In a strange way, not explaining it almost makes more sense.
And I forgot about that.
Probably just a dog.
Oh, yeah.
Because the budget wasn't huge, the effects had to look a little cheap. But that just added to the bizarre nature of the film. A lot of them don't look realistic, but they do look otherworldly. Sometimes having the feel of a cartoon, which is what Pee-wee usually feels like. A grown-up kid in a silly animated short. Everything from his obsession with his bike, his indifference to girls, his need to get the last stupid insult.
Pee-wee, listen to reason.
Come on! Listening to reason.
Listening to reason.
Not only how a child would act, but also how a child sees the world. To a little kid, you can befriend a bike gang by doing a dorky dance. That's true. Who dropped you off probably was a ghost. And if you sing deep in the heart of Texas,
ghost.
Will sing it.
The stars at night, a big and bright.
That shows, like...
You have no idea who or what is going to pop up next, but they always leave an impression.
Andy! Andy!
Ah!
Even the smallest role
Andy!
from Wonder Years. He only has a few lines, but man, do you remember them.
I have been ready since first call. I am ready. Roll.
The jokes aren't so crazy they become overbearing, but they're not so subtle you forget them anytime soon either. They're just the right amount of odd. I have no clue why Pee-wee has that voice at the end of the film he cameos in.
Hey, Mr. Herman. Mr. Herman, you have a telephone call at the front desk.
Maybe in the movie they thought his voice was too odd, so they dubbed
James
it.
Brolin
Maybe
as
that's
Pee Wee
how
Herman.
Pee-wee dubs ADR in the film. Maybe it's Maybelline, I don't know. It's part of what makes the film
Right.
so intriguingly random.
Have you got any messages for room 104?
No, nothing right now, Mr. Herman.
I gotta bring up the music too.
Oh,
In the
yeah.
movie, it's very likely Danny Elfman is doing the score. And especially in the early days, he would add a level of energy that would ignite what, again, they admitted wasn't that high a budget. We've seen these kind of breakfast machines before where they kind of put everything together in a goofy way. But Elfman's music takes what's
Always
obviously
creative.
a pretty done idea and turns it into an instantly entertaining event. The music, just like almost everything in the production, has a sense of energy and joy, even when it's trying to be dark and scary.
And this was the beginning of Danny Elfman and Tim Burton working together.
There's a perkiness to everything on screen that's infectious and just puts you in a good mood.
Yep.
Whether it's riding by Santa Claus and Godzilla, sitting in a dinosaur's mouth, or having Buttercup hit on you, there's always something
Oh,
strange
yeah.
and fun around the corner.
The voice
It's
actress.
one of those movies I can't say is a great film, but man, it's hard to find anything wrong with it. It did such a good job defining its own world with its own rules and having such a good time doing so that it never gets in the way of its own good time. It's a silly but enjoyable, one-of-a-kind classic.
I forget, like, that's supposed to be an E.T. reference. Yeah.
The other ones,
Splendid. I'm very satisfied with these results.
Come on,
I'll
Doug.
admit before I go into those.
Come on, Doug. Like, they can't be that bad. Alright, there's an ad. Yeah, but yeah, the voice of Butters, you know, one of the Powerpuff Girls being in this movie, I'm pretty sure that a lot of people don't realize at first that it's her, even, I guess, as of today. But yeah, like, of course he had to play clips of, like, the most infamous clips of this movie, you know, most notably Large Marge, so that's great. But again, Doug, come on, like, as I said earlier, I don't think the sequels are that bad. I mean, sure, they can't top off other Pee Wee Herman materials like the first Pee Wee Herman movie, but still, you know, they would have some good things to it, some charm. Ah, another ad. You just never, you never know just when there's going to be maybe like 2 or 3 ads. I don't recall like seeing 3 ads, but okay, there's a commercial. Yeah, if I recall, there were some videos like where some videos of Nostalgia Critic were like, you know, talking about movies all in one, like say the Shrek movies. Like after talking about the first Shrek movie, we would cut to commercial before continuing on with the Shrek sequels, so something like that. So I know that in the first, I know that was in the one where he talked about the Shrek movies, and I'm pretty sure the same goes for Austin Powers. I'm pretty sure. All right.
First time every Friday
Okay.
on Twitch. They also have content 5 days a week. Hope to see you there.
All right. Continue.
In 1988, Pee-wee was arguably at the height of his success. His movie was a smash hit, his new kids show was a smash hit, he was popping up all over the place. He even hosted Saturday Night Live and The Late Show in character.
You used to own a house here.
Why not?
You were a giant teen star with Fabian, right?
Yeah, we were both teenage idols at the time.
Weird. So annoying. To do a follow-up to the film that helped make him a household name.
Yep. Yeah, I was right. Big Top Pee-wee.
Big Top Pee-wee had a bigger budget than before, more effects than before, a larger larger audience ready to see it than before. And there's a reason you probably haven't heard it talked about in a while.
Yeah.
I watched this when it came out in theaters at the exact right age, and I put it on every once in a while, hoping this will be the time I like it. This will be when I see something I missed before that suddenly makes it brilliant. But no.
The bearded lady.
Not only is this not a very good sequel, but it's a very boring sequel. Pee-wee this time stays home.
I didn't find it boring.
Because there's a lot of comedic possibilities there. When a tornado literally blows through town, literally blowing a circus off the ground. When everyone is found out,
Is that not funny?
He immediately takes to the colorful characters. Colorful in appearance, but not personality. And we'll get to that a bit. If he can join. The problem is not only do they
The members of the circus,
but the townspeople made up entirely of old folks hate the circus and demand that they leave.
Yep.
Okay, so a circus seems like a good setup for this character in this world. It's funny Burton didn't come back to direct this as he works circuses into his story so much. This time it's Randall Kleiser, who's directed some films I really enjoyed. Some even including
Oh.
See you later, alligator.
Yeah. I didn't realize.
Opening with a dream sequence of
Danny Elfman came back.
and then disguising himself as Abraham Lincoln, and everybody falls for it.
It's Abraham Lincoln!
I think I fell for it too.
Christopherson, Valeria Golino, Benicio del Toro, Screech. It's a good line. But almost
Benicio del
everything
Toro,
about the
that's
first
right.
film is the opposite here. The
This was
world
Benicio
does
del
not
Toro's
accept
first movie.
It hates him.
I don't want you running around my store, baby
Yep.
Hermit.
Everybody in town treats him miserably, and not in a fun way, just a miserable way.
Just like the circus, like how they treat the circus.
Certainly would buy.
No one is as important in this community as Pee-wee Hermit. Pee-wee
Again,
Hermit
they
wants
probably don't. They don't like his personality, I guess.
There's nowhere to travel to, so if you don't like this location or these characters, you're pretty much stuck. And I don't know, maybe because the world of Pee-wee already seemed like a circus, the idea of introducing a real one, the more I think about it, kind of seems less magical. These circus folk are ungodly boring. They all look great, but they have no identity. Which proves the point that Pee-wee isn't the only thing that has to work about Pee-wee. It needs to be the environment as well. It's so weird to see some of these incredibly charming actors, like I perk up whenever I see them in a film, just invoke no emotion whatsoever. Also, I don't know any other way to say this. The film's a little pervy.
Children!
Pervy.
Dance is just teaching after my wrestle.
Okay, so there's always been innuendo with Pee-wee that had a very sexual lean to it. But part of the charm of Pee-wee is that he was a little boy in a grown man's body, so there's things that he, and even the kids watching, wouldn't catch on to.
Zombie's hands when I got here.
Well, check him out, Johnny.
Yeah, I will. I've had something I've wanted to do for a long time.
Like, Pee-wee doesn't really get into girls, and if he didn't really know the reason why. In the stand-up special, he uses shoe mirrors to look up a girl's dress, but when she says she's not wearing underwear, he's disappointed.
I'm not wearing underpants.
He doesn't know why he's doing that. He probably just saw a friend do it and saw it annoyed her, so he did it to get attention. Here, he's horny as hell.
After saying that, Doug, you made me laugh.
I guess you could argue the character's growing up, pardon the pun, but even
Yeah.
then, he seems kind of scuzzy. Like, he cheats on his girlfriend, who we later find out is his fiancée for someone at the circus.
Who was that?
I've seen that clip.
They're both rightfully pissed off at him, and yeah, we are too. Let's chat
Yeah.
about this. What's
Who
funny
wouldn't?
about
Who wouldn't be?
Pee-wee could be bratty, but there was still an innocence to the way he acted. And
Uh-huh.
it just feels very out of character. Though if you think the mud wrestling joke was just innocent weirdness, they literally show two women mud wrestling later to symbolize two people having sex. So, again...
Yeah.
Chris Christopherson
Oh,
is super
jeez. Adult jokes, am I right? I actually liked the song.
With that said, what does work in the movie, I'm not even sure is supposed to work in the movie. There are weird mistakes that I can't tell if are intentional or not, but they can sometimes get a laugh for how random they are. The pig in this movie can talk, but he literally doesn't say anything until randomly 10 minutes in, even though he's been on screen that whole time.
Let's see how this formula works.
Okay, Peewee.
It's so weird to wait that long, even though there were tons of other moments where any character would have said something, but doesn't. And also, it's pretty funny knowing that's Wayne White, the designer of the show, and a pretty big name artist now.
When I first met this hippo, I was really quite rude.
Oh yeah, that's right. The hippo falls for the pig.
There's a lion who sees him literally as food. He rushes towards him, but then it kept to him being fine. What the hell?
Maybe Pee-wee negotiated and made peace with
There's a
him.
moment where a bit of egg salad drops on Pee-wee's face and he uses his fiance's dress to wipe it off. And in the next shot, there's not a speck on either of them. Like, hilariously so. Also,
That's happened before in some
the
movies.
longest on-screen kiss of any movie. It
Yeah.
goes on so long, the score actually runs out of music and then starts back up again.
He's gonna play it. Yeah, that's funny.
Intentional or unintentional or half and half, but it does help give what's honestly a pretty dull movie a little of that surreal joy from the previous one. But because it was so dull, the movie failed to find an audience, resulting in bad reviews and a dismal box office. In fact, the whole Pee-wee craze was about to
unfortunate.
come off because just as Pee-wee was going to the movies, Paul Rubens was also going to the movies.
Oh,
Pee-wee
jeez.
would make a few appearances after, and some of them were very funny.
Heard any good jokes lately?
But with his show being canceled and him not appearing on shows anymore, his future looked bleak. Rubens finally took a break from the Pee-wee persona and took on a few supporting roles.
Yep.
Many in Tim Burton films. Which makes sense as they were both responsible for their cinematic debuts. Pee-wee Herman, as we knew him, though, was out of the spotlight for 20 years.
20 years? Jeez. When was the last time he appeared, and when was the first time he... Jeez. An ad. Ah! Okay. Okay, I did not know that. It had been 20 years since Pee-wee had been out of the spotlight. Like, holy cow. I didn't know that. Again, I ask. And I'm sure some of you guys know, too. You can leave in the comment section if you want to. Like, when was the very last time Pee-wee appeared on screen? We saw him. And when was the first time he came back? You know. About Paul Rubens, because, Doug, of course, had to bring that up on what happened with Paul Rubens during the 90s at a adult theater, and what he did at the adult theater, and I'm not going to go into full detail on it, but some of you probably know, but he was in an adult theater. Why would he get arrested? Who knows? But not to mention, Paul Rubens, for a long time, had suffered major depression. And thankfully, he snapped out of it. Snapped my fingers. Especially like a girlfriend of his who actually was in Batman Forever. What was the character's name again? One of Two-Face's two ladies. Not Drew Barrymore, but the other one. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. She actually helped Paul, get through his depression. So yeah. And yeah, Paul doing other acting stuff, like, again, as Doug established, like, he worked with Burton a couple of times, like, from being in Batman Returns as the Penguin's father, voicing Locke from The Nightmare Before Christmas, and, of course, being in Mystery Men. So, yeah. And not only that, but he'd also done a good chunk of voice work. So, yeah. Alright, another ad. Is this, gonna... Okay.
In 2011, Paul Rubens attempted to make a comeback with the character. He took his show on the road once more.
Yep.
A variation of his original stand-up combined with the characters from his kid show.
Mm-hmm.
It was a mix of his old material and his new material, and for the most part, people seemed on board.
Yeah.
While Pee-wee certainly did hit the height of
Why
his
not?
popularity like he did in the 80s, people were excited to see their childhood icon back.
Oh, yeah.
So, in 2016, Netflix and producer Judd Apatow decided to give Pee-wee one last adventure. They teamed up to give us Pee-wee's
As of
Big
now.
Holiday.
As of now being the last ever Pee-wee movie.
I'll be totally honest, when I first saw this film, I remember being underwhelmed. But watching it again years later, it actually is better than I remember. It clearly tries to return to form like the first film with Pee-wee going on a road trip. This time, instead of trying to get his bike back, is to go to the birthday party of Joe Manganiello. And no, he's not playing a character, he's literally playing himself.
Yep.
In this world, he's kind of like the cool version of Pee-wee, so they immediately hit it off. After being cooped up in one place and never traveling, even though he clearly did in the first one, but I guess this is a reset. He packs up and makes his way to California to hopefully make his friends
New York.
party in town. Of course, bumping into a bunch of colorful characters along the way. I like the guy celebrity that's not a nobody, but not a household name either. And he plays up doing the same stuff as Pee-wee, but in a cool way very well. And it's nice to see Pee-wee traveling again, regaining that spontaneity that was missing in the last one. Plus, the film is funny. Also, the jokes have either comedic or surreal payoffs. Like whenever Pee-wee dreams of being at the birthday party, he dreams it in Spanish. There's absolutely no reason why, and once again, that just makes it even funnier.
Again, I forgot a good chunk of this.
Film not being that great the first time I saw it. It's obviously trying to be like Pee-wee's Big Adventure again. But it turns out that's the issue. I'm constantly comparing it to Pee-wee's Big Adventure. I wouldn't really
Understandable.
do it with the kids show or with the stand-up. Hell, even Big Top Pee-wee I could kind of accept as its own new thing. But there's a lot of similar beats in this one. Like every film always opens with a dream. In this one, he's saying goodbye to an E.T.
Oh my gosh, I remember that now. The E.T. joke.
On the run, there's a silly wake-up sequence, there's a woman looking to travel.
I remember her too.
There's actors who play Simone. There's characters that come back into the movie again. There's even a few jokes from Big Top Pee-wee where he puts on a painfully fake disguise and everybody falls for it. I don't mind too much, except the characters in Big Adventure are unforgettable. I'm always going to remember Francis and Simone and Dottie and Large Marge and Mickey and the Bike Gang. These characters aren't bad, but they seem like they're there just to perform the joke. They don't leave.
Do they come back? I forget.
As the ones from Big Adventure. The only exception
Some of them,
Betty
I don't know.
Who I think they're doing a parody of the Violent Years. One of them even has a Glenn or Glenda type sweater. Also, hi Maribel. Man, no wonder these movies are like cartoons. They practically star cartoons. But still,
That was her?
It's a similar spirited oddness as the first film that, while not quite matching it, is still appreciated. Not every joke works, and I certainly wouldn't call it a big finale, but in a weird way that feels right. The trilogy ends with him just going to a friend's birthday party. I don't know, there's something really wholesome and charming about that. I think if you compare it to Big Top, but not too much with Big Adventure, you might find yourself having a good time with this. And that's certainly something this character has given us, a good time.
Yep.
Pee-wee Herman is one part child and one part adult, so it makes sense his humor would appeal to one part child and one part adult. He found a unique kinetic energy that connected with kids, but also connected with grown-ups' memories of being a kid. With each, though, he always added something a little extra, whether it's his trademark suit and bow tie, or high to low voice, or just little inappropriate jokes you didn't know were inappropriate until you got a little older. When the character was done right, he created a world that was strange and operated on a completely different level of logic. But it was still a level of logic you could follow and laugh along with. The Pee-wee movies were interesting comedic experiments. Sometimes they worked, sometimes they didn't. But they create a character that'll stay with us for decades to come. Thank you, Paul Rubens, for leaving us a timeless icon.
The luckiest boy in the world.
Well said, Doug.
Bye. Bye, boys and girls.
Bye, Pee-wee. You will always be remembered. You will never be forgotten.
I'm a nostalgia critic guy, remember? So you know that.
That was a nice way to end it, Doug. Well done. Raw. Yeah. Oh no, I think it was that kid.
We're doing Red Rose.
Okay. The charity shout out, as always. Yeah. Again, that was a nice way to end it, Doug. Yeah. Indeed. Thank you, Paul Rubens, and thank you for, bringing us laughter and joy and making everyone smile. Yeah. Again, as I said, to the character Pee-wee Herman, you'll never be forgotten. You'll have to everyone, you'll have a very special place in their hearts. Yeah. So that was a good video from Doug Walker, aka the Nostalgia Critic. Yeah, the sequels, because again, like I said, they could never top off the first Pee Wee Herman film, Pee-wee's Big Adventure. What Pee-wee's Big Adventure brought, you know, is just so memorable. And again, the fact that it was Tim Burton's first ever movie he directed. And again, that's what kicked his directing career. And, yeah, Doug made a good point about, like, say, about the sequels, like, Big Top Pee-wee, like, being its own thing, and as for Pee-wee's Big Holiday, kind of doing the same thing like what the first movie did. The fact that Pee-wee travels and has a big adventure. Yeah, and, geez, what's his last name? You know, Joe, you know I'm talking about, who's in Pee-wee's Big Holiday. Like, couldn't he have played a character instead of just playing himself? Like, what was the point? I don't know, but it's just how the movie turned out. Yeah, but when clips came up of Pee-wee's Big Holiday, I started to I remember now, because I remember that one scene that was like a parody to E.T. Pee-wee talking with the E.T. wannabe. And yeah, that one lady who, like, you know, flies in the air with Pee-wee, and, you know, where at one moment Pee-wee notices, you know, engine failure, that can't be good, and he screams like a girl. And those three ladies, like, I don't know, Doug didn't do a joke on this, but I am, like, I don't know, like, what were they, again, it's been a while since I've seen Pee-wee's Big Holiday, so bear with me. So the three girls that were with Pee-wee, like, I think they tied him up, yeah, like, what were they, like, Charlie's Angels wannabes? I don't know. Maybe I don't. Maybe I forgot the reference / joke, but I don't know. But, yeah. Yeah, because, like I said, like, I can't remember also, like, if any character from Pee-wee's Big Adventure, like, came back for the last Pee-wee Herman film, maybe as, like, cameos. I don't know. Like, you guys can let me know on that. And you know what? I need to go back and watch Pee-wee's Big Holiday. I need to, because a while back I did watch Big Top Pee-wee. I had to, because, you know, since, you know, it was not, I watched it not long after Paul Reubens passed away, and of course it was the perfect opportunity to watch that. And the same goes for Pee-wee's Big Holiday. I need to watch that, you know, soon. And like I said, it has been a while since I've seen it. And, you know, I don't think, yeah, because, like, how Doug felt about Big Top Pee-wee. And, you know, I don't think he, from what I can tell, I don't think he hates the sequels, you know, both Big Top Pee-wee and Pee-wee's Big Holiday. But, you know, they're not the best, and again, they can never top off Pee-wee's Big Adventure, like I said. Yeah, but yeah, overall, this was a good video and a great way, you know, in memory / in dedication to Paul Reubens. And again, you know, as I said, and as Doug established as the Nostalgia Critic, Paul Reubens and his character, Pee-wee Herman, being a huge part of Doug's childhood. Yeah, just, And, yeah, and he did very well what he had to say about the Pee-wee Herman films, and, you know, how he really felt about the sequels. It's understandable, so, you know, yeah. You know, here's something else, one more thing. It would have been nice if any character from Pee-wee's Playhouse would have made appearances in the movies, but I guess I can understand why they didn't. Heck, and that goes for, like, say, some characters that appeared in the movies. It's like, you know, it's like with the, I don't know, I guess any, like, Muppet material, like, whether if it's like a Muppet show or a Muppet movie, sometimes you don't see characters from that Muppet show or that Muppet movie reappearing sometimes. You know what I'm talking about. So yeah, the same goes for the Pee-wee films, and how it's obvious that they're all not canon. You know, Pee-wee just does, they're just, I guess, in their own universe. I don't know. Who knows? But anyways, again, you know, overall, this was a really good Nostalgia Critic video and, you know, for, you know, what Doug had to say about, you know, the Pee Wee Herman films. And what about you guys? What did you think of the video itself of Nostalgia Critic talking about the Pee Wee Herman movie trilogy? What did you think of my reaction? Leave comments and give this reaction video a like, as always. So, with all that being said, thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed my reaction to the Nostalgia Critic's review of the Pee Wee Herman movie trilogy, all 3 Pee Wee Herman movies. More reaction videos are on the way. They're going to be awesome. Keep looking forward, and I'll see you guys in the next video / reaction. And once again, rest in peace, the one and only Paul Reubens, aka Pee Wee Herman. One more reaction video is on the way, which again, being another Nostalgia Critic video. Stay tuned for that later tonight. Take care, and peace out.